I know, I'm running late. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Ask a Wizard. How's it going? Welcome. Hello, just a weirdo and proud. Welcome. How are you guys doing? If you'd like to get a live wizard reading throughout the stream, all you need to do is thumbs up this video and share the stream. That will qualify you for a free wizard reading. We will also be introducing, for the first time ever on today's stream, hey, what up, Naz? How's it going? The Ask a Wizard tip jar. That's right. I've been telling you guys for a couple of days now, you can send in some PayPals to support my stream and what I do over on PayPal. And when you do, you write a little brief message in the PayPal, advice, feedback, exciting in times, reviews, whatever you'd like, basically, like to Ask a Wizard, and I'm writing them down on a little piece of paper and crumbling up into balls, like so, and we will be doing some readings with them at the end of the stream. So if you guys would like to see that, we're going to be doing it in a very magical way, and if you want to get your message in this tip jar right here and help me fill it up and help me keep doing the streams, go to paypal.me/askawizard, pay whatever you think this is worth. Think of it like a tip jar at the farmer's market. We'll be doing that in just a bit. Well, actually, in a while. We'll do it at the end of the stream. All right. Let us begin. Hey, Dorian, how's it going? Oh, nice. Getting more people in here. Heck yeah, we are. That's the way of the wizards. The owls crush. Slowly but surely, we grow the flock. That is how it works. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Welcome. If you'd like to get a live reading, by the way, all you need to do is thumbs up the video and share the stream. That is how you qualify for the free readings, and I will add you to the list right here for the end of the stream. Dorian says, good, how are you? I'm doing very well. I'm a little rushed because I was a little late to the stream, so I'm feeling a little disoriented, but that's good. Just a wonderful proud says, hallo, guten Tag, wie geht es Ihnen? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Aber ich kann nicht sprechen Deutsch. Meine Deutsch ist sehr dumm. Naz says, boom, shared. Thank you very much, Naz. Let's get you on the list. Naz. Sometimes I put notes for myself and then I look back on them and I'm like, oh gosh, I hope that's not important. Like, just on my notepad here, I have the words 4 p.m. I'm like, why? I need to know. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the system, and more importantly, how the system is what the majority chooses. If you joined us on yesterday's stream, which was the fall of democracy, Plato's prophecy fulfilled, we discussed what Plato was talking about in regards to the flaws of democracy, and I promised that we would be getting more into detail throughout the week on that topic. And then by the end of the week, I will offer practical solutions that you can start taking action on today to overcome the current situation we're in. As we discussed in the previous stream, we are in a psychological dictatorship, and that has happened through consent. Rather than using guns, we use propaganda and psychological manipulation through the flashing boxes that we all have, our phones, our TV, our radio, all the things that enter our eyes and ears. That is the tools of war that are being used on us. So today we're going to be discussing the psychological implications of that, or the practical implications of that. Hi there, Al. Hey, how's it going? Nature Owl in the house, welcome. So we're going to be talking about the implications of that and identifying and dealing with some of the harsh overreactions that we typically see in society, and showing why, one, those are foolish and don't make sense, and two, what you can do instead. So the most common reaction when people discover that we do in fact live in a psychological dictatorship is, the system sucks. We need to take down the system, man. We need to shut things down. We need to break this thing. This thing needs to be teared apart and brought down. We're going to fix this system. That doesn't work. It's not a successful strategy. And we're going to talk about why. You see, the system represents, as much as you hate to hear this, what the majority wants. So if you're in a system that disagrees with you on the majority of your fundamental beliefs, you are in a system where you are surrounded by your enemy. The people allowed what is happening in your country to happen. It's how it works. Now, the reason why a large majority of people would choose things that are just deeply, profoundly dark and disturbing and evil is because we do live in that psychological dictatorship that we were talking about. So, what does that mean, for example? Well, majority of people will vote or choose not to vote for fear of expressing their opinion if they are going to be subjected to social pressure. That's what the TVs do. So the flashing boxes will tell you if you don't do what we say, people will say you are evil. People will say you are a bigot. People will say that you're wrong and bad and terrible if you express any opinion that goes against what the psychological dictatorship is encouraging. And so, for a lot of people, they are too weak to resist that and express their opinion in the voter box. And so, that's how you get some of these demonic laws that are passed. And so, you may be finding yourself in a system where you're like, this is evil, this is terrible. How could they allow this to happen to our education system? How could they allow this to happen to our people? The fact of the matter is, the majority of the people around you allowed that to happen. And so, if that is the case, you find yourself in enemy territory. You cannot change the majority because you are not the majority. You need to follow Sun Tzu. So, the strategy that you would want to implement, if that is the case, is to find where you can be the majority and then start working from there on the smallest scale possible. Now, oddly enough, Jesus Christ actually formulated this exact plan for all of us and wrote it. Well, he didn't write it down in the Bible, but is dictated and essentially proven out in the Bible. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we'll get into even more detail on the individual level, what you can do in the upcoming streams. Today, we're going to be talking about the strategy that's being employed. So what do you do? Well, the first principle that you need to realize here is that, again, the system that you live in is a psychological dictatorship, not a physical one. People are not pointing guns at you and telling you what to do most of the time. Most of the time, what is happening is you are in a negotiation. People are asking you to do things, and you have a right to say yes or no. In fact, the majority of your interactions that you'll have in society are, despite the way that they'll be framed, the pressures that will be applied, the social pressures that are exerted on you, you don't actually have to do a huge amount of them. Now, there are a few that you do have to do. Those are the laws, the actual laws, not the things people call a law, but the actual laws. And even in the case of a law, the law person who is providing the law is actually obligated to cite the source of that law and defend it before you have to accept that law. So there is a lot of pressure or a lot of layers between you and the actual things you're being forced to do. You might think that you have to do something. You might think that this has to be the way, but in reality, you don't. It's all social pressure. So that is the technique and the strategy that you really need to understand if you want to start escaping this psychological dictatorship. This is the weak point. This is the hole in the Death Star of this particular strategy. You know, the physical dictatorship has the weakness that over time it will always collapse on itself because it will do so much harm that people eventually won't tolerate it and they reject the ideology, or other people reject the ideology and they will kick it out. That's what happened in Nazi Germany. In America, we have a psychological dictatorship, and so what will happen here is they will not exert force because of that PR. Their system will last much longer, and the flaw is that you have the ability to just say no. You can turn off the box. You can say, I'm not interested. No, thank you. I'm not interested in your offer. Have a good day. Thank you. And so that is the real flaw here. And that's really the strategy element that we're going to be employing here in the upcoming streams on tactics so that we can get around that system. Now, that being said, we do need to bring this back to the spiritual, which is In the world, not of the world. What does Jesus say when you are encountering a law, an actual law, and there's justification to defend the law in the courts? Well, from there, you do need to render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. We don't want to go breaking the law. We don't want to be criminals. That is a bad thing. Don't do that. If you try to play in the game of the system, you will be eaten up and spitting out. If, on the other hand, you choose to not negotiate, not engage, not get involved, you'll be fine as long as you follow the laws. And so that's all that you're really required to do to operate in the system and be in the world, but not of the world, which is what Jesus calls us to. Now, finally, what I want to do is, while we're doing a more of an overview strategic output on this particular stream, I do want to bring it back down to the material to give you guys just a better understanding of the scope. So coming back to that person who's like, man, I see it. I see all this system. It sucks. I want to burn it down. It's terrible. It's wrong. What you should instead do is realize that you're not operating at the correct scale. If you think the president or the governor or I guess a mayor might have some influence, but a governor, a president, a politician has any impact on you whatsoever, then you are a fool and you don't understand anything about how the system works. It is a meaningless thing to concern yourself with because it has no true impact on you. What affects you is very small scale. What affects you is within 250 to 500 acres of wherever you are standing. That is a specific number because historically speaking, that is the amount that actually matters. Moreover, anything over 1,000 people is essentially irrelevant. Your brain cannot even process it. So if you're concerning yourself with problems of millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, all of these numbers are meaningless to you and your ability to execute on plans. If you are concerning yourself with anything that affects more than 1,000 people, then you are not functionally acting on a problem that can be solved or helped or advanced by you. Hey, welcome back, Lil Fam. So you have to consider this. And what you really need to start asking yourself is, am I surrounded not in a state, not in a country, not in even a city? Am I in a small group of people in a 250 to 500 acre radius of 1,000 people? In that group of 1,000 people that live around me or that I hang out with the most, do we share core beliefs that are the same? If the answer is yes, that is what you need to start operating in the world to make a difference. That's it. That's all you need to worry about. The rest of the system, think of the system as a garbage can, okay? It is there to throw out the trash of society who cannot handle or control or maintain or feed or protect itself. If you are not capable of doing something for yourself that is required of you as a living human being, then the system will come in and it will do it for you. And it will do it poorly, and it will do it at the cost of great evil. So that is more of the frame that you need to start getting into here if you want to start really making a difference and a change. The changes in a system do not come from major movements by getting behind a false ideology that will always end in failure. It begins on a small scale in a small community in the area around you with a small group of people who have like-minded ideologies. That is where success is had, and that is how things actually get changed. If you want to look more into this, see how crazily amazing farmers have been just crushing at laws for our entire country's history. This is how they crush. This is how they are amazing. And the reason why we still have food supplies the way that we do is because farmers have been doing the same strategy for the majority of our country's history. And they tried violence once, right in the beginning. I think it was with Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln used the government to come in and kill them all, and to shut down not kill them all, but to kill them, to shut them down and use violent force to take over their farmlands. And then they said, well, that didn't work, and then they changed their strategy, and then guess what? It worked. So that is the lecture for today. If you find yourself in a system, realize the system is the way it is because the majority of the people want the system to be the way that it is. And the reason that they want evil in their system is because they were lied to by a flashing box and were afraid of being called mean words. Turn off the flashing boxes. Worry about the 1,000 people around you. Worry about the 250 to 500 acres around your body. And that is where you start to get real changes in society. So I hope that helped you guys out. I hope you enjoy that lecture. And now it's time to learn some psychological warfare. So if you'd like to engage in some fun, if you'd like to disrupt some communities on the internet, well, this is the time for you. So if you're interested in learning about that, please share the stream out, invite some friends, and you can go and get together with some other owls and have fun with these 3 psychological warfare techniques for fun and entertainment. These are techniques of simply leaving comments on people's profiles on social media that, when left, will cause immediate distress. And they are quite fun, and I have found them to be very entertaining. In fact, I believe that you could apply this to quite a large amount of profiles, despite them having large amounts of followings, and get very powerful reactions. So we're going to begin with those right now. So, what is the first psychological warfare technique? When your friend posts on Instagram, okay, or they post on TikTok, they go out there. They post a picture, right? Just go into the comment section and type this. You're so brave. That's it. Just let it hang. Just let it hang. Now they're going to start spiraling, okay? They're going to start freaking out. They're going to be like, what does he mean? Why is he saying I'm so brave? They're going to ask for more information. Like, hey, thanks. What do you mean? Just like, it doesn't need to be said. Do not give them an answer. Then what's going to happen is you would think they're going to get confused and like, whatever, move on. No. What they're going to do is immediately think in their mind, what is the thing I'm the most insecure about? And that's what they're going to bring to the top of their mind. And they're going to start wondering, is that what he meant? Remember, do not give them any more information. If you need to, just ghost them. And that is the first psychological tactic you can start applying to take people's minds to the next level of trash. All right, so that's prank number 1. Prank number 2 is go to the comments of their photo. This is specifically really good if you see someone post a picture with like they just caught a big fish, or they met up with a celebrity, or any of those kinds of photos, and the big photos. And then you just simply hop on into the comment section, right? And you just leave this nice little nugget here. What's with the Photoshop? Question mark. They will begin to spiral. They're going to say, it's not Photoshopped. I did catch that fish. Now, it's important that the photo you comment this on cannot actually be a Photoshop. It has to be clearly not a Photoshop, which makes it way better. Your response when they'll say it's not a Photoshop has to be, it's clearly a Photoshop. I'm actually an expert. I can tell by the pixels. Wait for the chaos to ensue. They will just keep going with that, keep hitting them hard, just saying it's clearly, look, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why you posted a picture of this fish as a Photoshop. I'm not saying it to call you out or anything. It's clearly a Photoshop. They will spiral to no end, trying to prove that it's not a Photoshop, and other people will start jumping in because the internet is filled with people from Reddit. People from Reddit are garbage. And the Reddit people will look at it and say, I am the special boy, I am smart, and they will join in to say it is a Photoshop so that they can feel like they indeed are also a special boy who noticed it was a Photoshop, even though it isn't a Photoshop. Very effective technique. All right, technique number 3. And this one is very good to post on people who are conspiratorial. Okay, so if you get someone who is into conspiracies or is paranoid in any way, a little scared, you want to post this on one that has nothing controversial whatsoever. So maybe it's just like a picture of like having fun at Disneyland with the friends, or oh, hey guys, this is my picture of my new puppy. Anything like that. Very simple, very generic. You want to go in there and comment. Geez, I wonder how long till Facebook takes this down. ... Then they'll say, why would Facebook take this down? Come on, I'm not going to say that. I'll get banned. Wait for the chaos. And that is how you can engage in some psychological warfare here at the Parliament of Owls. Hey, Cole, how's it going? Those are 3 techniques that you can apply to have fun and entertainment throughout your day. Think of social media as a game where you can introduce a little bit of chaos. And you will find that it's a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining to think of social media as that, because now that you're aware from having seen these streams that social media is not real, it's all a lie, all of it's fake, and all the stories are fake, you can start treating it like the video game that it is and having a little fun with it. And that is what I have for you guys today in terms of psychological warfare for social media for fun and nothing else. So, with that being said, it's almost time for us to start the readings, but we have to hit the most important segment of all, which is the comedy scene. Can I do that to my brother? Yeah, you could do it on your brother. If your brother posts a picture on Instagram, just type in the comments below. You're so brave. It'll get him. You'll get him good. All right, so here we go. I read some headlines, and I'm working on my comedy. This is day 4 of comedy. Here we go. And for those of you looking for the background of this, we have a comedian, Owl, who does one-on-one sessions with me, who still has not posted on Instagram, despite me saying I would give him a shout-out, because he's afraid. So I'm going to continue to bomb. Let us do this. House lawmakers... this is the headline for us today from the New York Times Tech magazine. House lawmakers have great concern about big tech's monopoly power and urge breakups. Zuckerberg was seen in court repeatedly saying the words block, block, block towards the judge when this was discussed, and then proceeded to robotically convulse on the ground and was dragged away. Joke number 2. Health. New York Times, I believe this is Health. Don't be afraid of COVID, Trump says, undermining public health message. Which public health message? The one where they said, don't wear a mask, and then said to wear a mask, and then said to wear a mask again? And then they said, don't wear a mask? That one? Or are we talking about when they said 2 million people would be dead by June? That public message? Is that the one he was undermining? Or, I don't know, maybe the one where you guys said that this is a horrible, terrible disease that's going to be killing us up until the election and then it's going to go away? That public message? I have a new public message for you, a new public health message. Be afraid of the flashing boxes, Wizard says, undermining liars and criminals. Joke number 3. Where's my headline? Where is my headline? Headline number 3 from the New York Times. No, coronavirus is not like a flu. I understand that. We all get the coronavirus is not like a flu. One of those things has killed thousands of people. The other one we shut the economy over. And those are my 3 jokes for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed them. And now, let's get started on some live Wizard readings. But we have a very special show today because for the first time ever, where? where are we going here? Okay. So this is the Ask a Wizard tip jar here. So basically, people pay me through paypal.me/Ask a Wizard. They pay whatever they think this is worth. They ask a question. You get to write a little message in there. I write them down on a piece of paper, and I'm going to read them live for you here. But we're going to do it in a very special way. We're going to mix them up. And let's get a book here. Get Mr. Higgs. Dump them out on here. See there. And we're going to place them up here so you can all see. We're going to do this in a very special way. So each person went to paypal.me and donated any amount that they thought these was worth, and we're going to try and answer their questions here today. To Ask a Wizard, you can send anything you like. You can ask a question, you can send support, you can send a review, whatever you like, any cool information, whatever you'd like to do to support, and I'm going to try and answer these guys today. So let's take a look, but we're going to do it in a very special way. I've shooken these up, I've crumbled them into balls so you can't see through them, as you can see. And we're going to try and figure out what's in them without looking. Okay, so this is, I get a J. This is a J. Jamie? No, this is a guy. I think it's James. This is from James, definitely. This is about financial success. This is about having good times, success with money, with success and gaining financial success. And there's a question here. There's a question regarding next steps. I'm getting the impression here it's like, I think it's entrepreneurial. We want business advice. I think it's business advice. Yeah, it's definitely business. Entrepreneurial, starting a business advice. So what James is looking for information regarding starting a new business. And so what James, my advice to you would be, yeah, you've got income coming in. I can feel that. All right, so you have a job. What I'd recommend doing is setting aside a small amount of money every month. You want to set aside a small amount of money, James, and you want to put that off to the side, save up about $500. And you need to be able to test whatever idea you want with just $500. If you need more than that, you need to figure out how to make it smaller scale. Now, typically people say $5,000. However, we're not trying to start a full-blown business here. We're trying to test the business idea out. So that's why I'm saying $500 or $500 is going to give you enough to test the idea, not to get a full-blown business going. So start with that $500, and then from there, you need to get creative and ask yourself, how can I test this idea and try to make money and get 3 sales of a product for more than $30. I need 3 sales of a product for $30, and I need to do it with $500 or less. That includes creating the product, selling the product, marketing the product, the whole thing. That is where you need to start with a business. That would be my entrepreneurial advice for you, James, and that is the advice. So let's open it up and see how we did. There we go. Beautiful. James A. I love your show. You helped me get my first job. What advice do you have for starting my first business? There we are, right there. That is James right there. As you can see, he's asking about the business. I'm not going to give you too much of his info, but that is from James right there. It looks like we nailed that one on point. Thank you so much for your support, James. Thank you for the donation. You are amazing. And we're going to do the next question. Okay, man. This one is awesome. This one is super happy. Good times, happiness. Oh, I know this person. I can feel this. This one's from Brittany, isn't it? Yeah, this is Brittany. Brittany, gosh, what is it? Wow. Okay, so this is just celebratory. This is a good time. This is happiness. This is exciting. We're seeing a good time here. We're reading. We're learning. We're growing. We're seeing success, and I think. Did you read the book, Brittany? Did you read the book that I recommended? No, you didn't read it. What? But you do know it. That's weird. I don't know what that means. Huh. Um, Goodness gracious, Brittany. Well, thank you very much. I recall when you sent this on PayPal that this was very, very generous. I mean, incredibly generous. So I'm assuming that's not more my intuition here based on the PayPal data. I'm assuming you probably got the job as well. So I'm excited to hear that. And thank you very much for that support. All right, let's see how we did. Flatten this bad boy out. Nice and crumbled. All right, here we go. We've got Brittany A. Our one-on-one session completely changed my life. I listened to meditations in one day. Ah, you listened to it. You listened to the audiobook. Nice, nice. In one day and changed everything. Here's a tip for gratitude. Oh, thank you very much, Brittany. I appreciate that. And as you can see there, we've got Brittany's name right up there on the top. And you can see vaguely what it says. Probably not the best graphics, but we got meditations right there for you, just so you can catch that keyword, maybe, sort of. I don't know if it's in the camera, maybe. We'll use a Sharpie maybe next time. We'll try that out. All right, we got one last donation here. And by the way, again, thank you so much. That was insanely generous. It's one of the most generous donations I've ever gotten. So thank you very much for that donation. It really means a lot. All right, last one here. All right. I don't know you. Do I? I vaguely recall this person. I think I gave them a reading. Is that what this is about? Oh, that's good. Okay. So Ashley here is getting love. This is about love. This is Ashley, and this is about love. And I see we turned inward on ourselves. We look to ourselves for advice. We followed the Hermit's card, and we looked inward, and we looked to improve ourselves, to work on ourselves. And it seems to be working very well for us. In fact, I think that this is starting to lead us down a path towards what I was talking about here. I'm getting the impression here that this is about getting internal improvement, improving our life, and then becoming someone that other people come to rather than trying to have to seek out the attention of others. And so I think that's what's really happening here. Let's take a look and see how we did. All right. This one here. And there we are. Ashley C., thank you so much for your advice. You said to work on myself instead of focusing on finding a boyfriend. I did. Now a guy approached me and we went on our first date. Ashley. Awesome. Thank you very much, Ashley, for that support as well. I deeply appreciate that. That's Ashley's name right there. Nailing it on point. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for letting me help you guys out. Thank you for supporting. And if you want to get your info in the tip jar, this is all you need to do is go to paypal.me/askawizard. Pay whatever you think it's worth. I think the minimum might be $1. You could try lower. It might even get to a penny. Whatever you want to do, but that is where you can support me at. And think of it like a tip jar on the farmer's market, and I will do the readings for you guys throughout the time. As it fills up, I will go through those. Maybe we'll do specific streams just for those, or at least announce them, because it does seem like it might take a little bit of time to do, but I do want to give you guys the special treatment you deserve for supporting me, and you guys rock so much with all the support here. one last shout out for you guys. Thank you, James A. Thank you, Brittany A. And thank you, Ashley C. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for giving me those donos on PayPal. And we're going to move on to the free readings. Do. So if you are looking for a free reading and you're still here, let me know in the comments below and we'll get your reading started shortly. And what do you guys think? Do you enjoy the question and answers of yours, especially if you actually donated? I'd love to hear your opinion since you guys are the ones that get the special treatment. So let me know in the comments below, or you can also Gmail me at touchingonmagic@gmail.com. Yes, I did, and the comment was great. Well, thank you very much, Naz. I appreciate that. Hello, Naz. Well, thank you. Let's get your reading going. Can I do my brother? Thank you, Naz. I'm enjoying it. I'll take a reading. All right, Cole, let's get you on the list. Boom. All right, let's go, Naz. I'm so happy. That was fun. I enjoy that. That was a good time. I've been wanting to, I haven't gotten to do that particular act in, gosh, over seven, is it 7 months now? Gosh, it's probably even more. It's been 8 months. It's one of my favorite things to do. And now I get to do it online. So thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. All right, Naz, let's get you this reading. Ooh, very interesting indeed. Staying in the lower numbers. Are you ready to move? Oh, I'm so ready to move. We're moving in just a couple of weeks. And we found an amazing, well, I shouldn't say we, Alex found an amazing opportunity where we literally can basically get to where we're going for like a third of the cost, and it's like way easier and way less pressure, so we're pretty stoked. All right, let's take a look here, looking into the past. Mr. Plato, would you be so kind? You helped us out with this lecture today. Maybe you can help with this Naz individual right now. Looking into the past, we see the 10 of Diamonds. All right, so the 10 of Diamonds is about the completion of a material chapter in your life. So what this is saying is that we're out in the past, we went through a phase where we were going through one particular experience. We were really interested in a hobby. There was something that we really liked to do in the physical realm, and now we're kind of feel like we're kind of outgrowing that a little bit and moving on to something new. We're trying to explore and grow. I'm seeing intuitively here, I'm picking up this like desire for trying to like gain eyeballs or attention. I think we're trying to be like gain influence on the internet. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. I think it's better to think about how can I do something I love, and then as I do something I love, the people who love what I do will eventually come to me because I'm doing what I love. I think that might help you out a little bit more here, Naz. Now, walking to the present, what we see is the 5 of Wands. So the 5 of Wands is a disruption in the spiritual. And so this is saying that you're going through a phase right now where we're trying to kind of figure out who we are and what we want. What are we trying to go towards in life? And we're really not solidly set down in our principles yet. And so that's kind of where we find you at right now, is this disrupted period. In fact, I think that this kind of ties in with what we were saying before, is part of the problem is we keep trying to do things to get attention and eyeballs, and yet they're not guided behind anything that we love. So they're not generating the results that we're looking for, I don't think. And so that's kind of what I see popping up for you here, Naz. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights. Let me know in the comments below. Hey, Nema, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. If you'd like a reading, give this thing a thumbs up and share the stream. That's how you qualify for that free reading. Is this sounding accurate for you, Naz? Is this giving you some insights? Let me know in the comments below. And if not, we will adjust accordingly, and if it is, we'll move on to the next steps. Naz says, yes, thank you. Glad to hear this is sounding on point for you, Naz. So the next steps that we see here is the 4 of Diamonds. So the 4 of Diamonds is about stability of the material. And so what this is a call to action to do is to figure out, on a basic level, what is something that I'm passionate about and love, and how can I identify what those core principles are. That every art form, everything that's worth doing has core principles that you have to just start doing, and you have to start practicing them, and you just have to do them over and over and over again to get good. It's specifically those skill sets. So, for example, video games are usually transparent and very easy to figure out because they're a game, not real life. So it's easier to think of it in that video game sense. For example, StarCraft has basically 3 or 4 main mechanics: get minerals, make sure you don't get supply blocked, spend your money, and then attack people. If you just do those 4 things, you get really good at those skill sets, you will do really well in the game, and then the rest is kind of things you just pick up along the way. Those 4 skill sets, you can only get good at them by practicing and repetition and just working on them and drilling yourself. So whatever you're trying to learn to do, figure out what those principles are for your art form and then start drilling those today. And it's not enough to just do them. You have to record, track, and then look back and say, how did I do? Did I get to my benchmarks? How can I get better? That kind of thing. That's how you start getting really good and really dialed in. So that's the advice I have for you today, Naz. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading. That would be Cole, and Nema is looking for a reading as well. Let's get you on the list here, bud. Nema. I don't know what your Nema is. All right, Cole. Let's get you a reading. Dear Cole, it's time for your reading today. Hey, the sun is out, the sky is blue. It's time for your reading. Where are you? All right, Cole, let us begin. I'll get this thing a shuffle while we wait. Cole says, nice singing. Thank you very much. I'm thinking about trying out for American's talent show thing. What is it called? The American Talent Show thing. I think that's the official name. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that for the singing. I've been working on it really hard for I'd say about 15 years, guys. So it really means a lot for me when you say that my singing is good. I really appreciate that. And I think I've got a shot. Okay, so I'm going to try out. I'm going to try out for America's Got Talent. How many people have been in that position? Think about it. There's so many people who have done that. There's so many people who have sat there and they weren't surrounded by a single person who loved them enough to tell them the truth. It's so sad. Nobody at any point said, sweetie, you're terrible. Let's get you some voice lessons. Let's get you a coach. Maybe there's some hope. Maybe. And they didn't. No one. Not one person was like, hey, come on. I appreciate your effort, but we really need to get you some help. It's just so bad. It's so sad. Oh, every time it gets me. It's depressing, but it's also hilarious at the same time. Comedy and magic do not have those things. We literally we will go and crap on each other after we go and crush on a stage. You'll go and you will just annihilate the audience. You do an amazing show, and you'll come back and some old timer will look at you and be like, I saw you flash. You're like, oh, it's like, just floored the audience. They're like, yeah, but they weren't magicians. I'm like, I'm aware. Yeah, but you still flashed. I'm like, but they're right, and that's what makes us good is we go back and we're like, crap, I gotta go do that move another 100 times in the mirror. It's just part of the ethos, I guess. All right, Cole, let's get you a reading. Looking into the past here. Mr. Seneca, would you be so kind? We got the Jack of Wands popping up here. Cool. All right. So the Jack of Wands is about taking action in the spiritual. So this is very interesting indeed. This is about being a person who's taking action on our principles from a young age or in the past, really charging forward. The image that comes to mind really is this gosh, the ruler whose name is escaping me right now, which is very odd. Was it Caesar? I think it was Caesar. This person who just has their will, knows where they want to go in life, and charges forward assertively. And so that's a very powerful and strong gift. And so now we see you going on a natural path here for the Four of Spades. So the Four of Spades is about stability of knowledge. And so what this is saying is that you're currently in this phase of your life where you're like, cool, I know where I'm trying to go, big picture. Now let's figure out the things I need to learn to get to where I need to go. So you're being very methodical about this, very effective approach. And that's where we find you at right now, is kind of just researching and gaining the knowledge necessary to achieve the results that you're after. Is this sounding accurate for you, Cole? Is this giving you some insights? Let me know in the comments below. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. And if it is, then we will move forward to the next steps. Cole says, yes, awesome. Glad to hear that this is sounding on point for you, giving you the insight you're looking for. So the next steps that we see is the Lover's card. So this is very interesting. So the Lover's card is representing possibly the introduction of a romantic interest. That is the typical association with the Lover's card. However, in this case, I'm not getting that impression so much. I think that this is more geared towards a love of what you want to achieve. I think that through your intellectual pursuit, you're going to get the emotional inspiration, the passion that's required to really fuel this endeavor. You have the spiritual foundation, you have the principle, the guiding star. Now you're gaining the knowledge. The next thing here is to get the passion. And when you get those three things together and you start acting in the material world, you can just crush. So this is really, really great to see popping up here. Look for the thing that makes you passionate, the thing that will let you put in 80 hours when everyone else stops at 40. When you can find that passion, then you know you're on to the right track. So that's what we see popping up here for you. I hope that helps you out, gives you some insights. And we're going to move on to the next reading. That's Nema. Nema, you are up next. Nema, no problem at all, Cole. I'm glad to help. Nema, well, Cole just said cool for those creepy ones that crawl in here sometimes and going, he didn't say thank you, he said cool. He did say cool, and I was saying, you're welcome, to him saying cool, with the assumption, the underlining text being, he enjoyed what I had to say. Are you happy now? Are you happy, worms? Nema says, yay! All right, Nema, is there anything in particular you're looking for an insight on? Let me know in the comments below, and we will get your reading started shortly. You know, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the flashing boxes. And I basically just read and listen to audiobooks and podcasts. And the only interaction I now have with the news is purely from the headlines that I read for these jokes. And when I go in and I read these headlines, it's kind of bizarre. Like, I feel like it's a cartoon world. It kind of amazes me that there's anyone who reads these things and thinks, ah, yes, that accurately reflects the real world. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm not in it. I've been out of that for so long, ever since I read Machiavelli, and it's like, hey, yeah, here's how to control people like sheeps in a democracy. First step, control the media outlets and make up stories in a narrative. Give them teams so that they can fight amongst each other. And then you can control them by putting on political theater and putting in actors so that people will think there's an overarching narrative to their lives. And he like literally writes it out specifically. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's all a lie. It's like professional wrestling. And I've never watched it since, but like diving into it, you're like this is absurd. Like, people look at this and think, ah, yes, I am gaining valuable information that's informing me. Like, I can't imagine being that stupid. But it's not stupid. It's like a trick. It's not the right word, but it feels like stupid, to be honest. Like, if I'm honest with my feelings, it feels like stupidity, where people look at it and they think, Like, some of these things aren't even coherent. Like, they're not thoughts. It's just like, experts say this person's the big dumb, and this is why they say he's a big dumb. And you're like, I, but I don't, what? It's incredible to me. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, but it's also very disturbing because I'm starting to have less hope for my fellow man, to be frank. Can you do something random for me because I don't know what to choose? Of course, that's the best one. General reading's the way to go. News is just full of nonsense. Yeah, well, it's more than nonsense. It's an active story that's written to control people, and then people tell them it's real, and it's not. Like, it's no different. Reading the newspaper is no different than picking up Lord of the Rings, reading Lord of the Rings, and thinking, guys, I really hope the hobbits are able to get to Mount Doom. This is a really serious problem. Did you hear there's orcs? There's orcs in the north. They're like, what are you talking about? It's like, you didn't read the news? No, I didn't read the news. It's just absurd. It's just absurd. All right, Nema, let's get you a reading. Looking into the past here, we see the Five of Spades. So the Five of Spades is about a disruption in the logos. So this is saying that you in the past had a thing that really shook up your way of thinking about the world. You gained a lot of new knowledge, a new way of looking at things, a new understanding of things, and really just kind of like topsy-turvy, a lot of knowledge, a lot of learning experience. I'm getting the impression kind of like almost a binge watching of educational information. Maybe this is YouTube videos or TikTok videos or something, but we're watching a lot of videos that teaching us new and unique ideas. There's a lot of wisdom coming in through here, and a lot of junk. If we're being honest, I think there's some junk information in here as well. But I think that we were going down very strong intellectual pursuit. Part of me thinks that there's like an interest in specific things. I think like understanding the nature of, maybe it's like birds or animals or insects, but like some fascination with life or categorizing some sort of thing. That's kind of what I'm seeing popping up here. And now walking into the present, what we see is the King of Hearts. So the King of Hearts archetypically represents the Prince Charming. This is the guy that comes in and sweeps girls off their feet, saves her from the tower that's being protected by the dragon. However, on the individual level, what it's about is the King of Hearts is about knowledge of emotions. So this is saying knowing your feelings, understanding the source of your feelings, good and bad, and then gaining the knowledge of where they come from and how those forces arise. And this isn't about taming them, this is more about understanding them. Once you understand them, then you can move to the next step, which is mastery over them and directing them from negative things that you don't want, towards things that you do want. And so that's a huge process. Nietzsche talks about that, as well as Carl Jung, in the the individuation process. So very profound process to be going through. Right now, you're at the very, very, very beginning phases, which is just simply the acknowledgement of, hey, it's weird that I get these huge bursts of energy, whether they be positive or negative. Why does that happen? What is its source? And can I control it? Or do I know what causes it? What triggers it? That kind of thing. So that's kind of where we find you at right now. Is this sounding accurate for you? Mr. Nema. Or Mrs. Nema. I'm not sure if it's a boy or girl. My screensaver just changed to a picture of a very intriguing chameleon. It's a sign. Nema, do you have a pet chameleon? How legit would that be? It's like my screensaver always changes to people's pets. That'd be so cool. A magic screensaver. Oh, Nema. Oh, Nema. Nema says the sound's on point and is accurate. Glad to hear. They didn't say that. They said yes, but I reframed it into the words that is on point and accurate, because that's what I say a lot. So it's a stock word that's in my vocabulary. Worms. All right, next step. What we see here is the Ten of Spades. The Ten of Spades is the completion of an intellectual chapter in our life. So what this is saying is the next steps for us, and Nema says, yes, I do. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So the Ten of Spades is about the completion of an intellectual chapter in your life. And so what we really need to do is, oh, I thought you said snake. No, 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 no. Oh, you have a pet snake. I got you. I got you. I think there might be a delay going on here. So the Ten of Spades is the completion of a intellectual chapter. So what I think it's guiding us towards here is figuring out what is the emotional drive that drove us to understanding and memorizing these pieces of information, and how can we take that same energy that we're transitioning away from and guide it towards something that is more in our interest and valuable. The thing that comes to my mind is when I was a kid, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and for some reason, I just developed this capacity to memorize all of the stats of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like to this day, it's kind of creepy. If anything, it's funny. You can figure out where my generation, when I stopped playing, because I have no idea what any of the new cards are. But everything prior to my generation, I can go and look and say, oh, that one's 2,500 attack points, 1,200 defense points for the Summon Skull. And it's like, well, why do you know that? 3,000 attack points, 2,500 for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm like, I don't know why I know that. I just do. And so I took that skill set and I applied it to the mnemonic system that I have here. And that's how I'm able to memorize large amounts of information in philosophy books with just a deck of cards and use that to kind of help you guys get some wisdom. But that same skill set is what we see here. So I think that the real insight here for you, Nema, is we need to figure out what is the emotional energy, what is the driving force behind that capacity that we've used in the past, for that passion, that thing that we categorized and learned and obsessed over. How can we take that and master that skill set and start applying it to new things that we love and we care about now and want to gain wisdom about in the future? And so I think that's really the path that we see you on here, Nema. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights. Let me know in the comments below if that helped you out. And we're going to move on to, I think that's the last reading, unless we have anyone else that wants to slide in at the end here. But this is the end of the stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. If you guys have some Q&A and you'd like to talk about it, love to talk. Cole says the same for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh cards, man. I was obsessed. I loved all these cards, and I always knew I just, for some reason, I just could memorize all their attack and defenses. It was bizarre. Karibo's 300 attack points, his defense is 250. And I think there was an early edition where it was 200. I don't know why. I don't know why I know that. Also, I think I don't remember all of their effects, but I think Karibo had the ability where you could sacrifice him and remove all damage for the turn. Just random stuff. And that's like, it's been like a decade since I looked at a single, probably longer than a decade. It's probably been like 13 years, 14 years maybe? God, it's even longer. Oh my gosh, I'm old. 18 years. 16 to 18 years. My goodness, and it's still in there. I don't know why. Yes, it does. Awesome. I'm glad we have some Yu-Gi-Oh fans in here. Have you guys ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh Abridged? It's pretty incredible. It's amazing. Also, Dragon Ball Z Abridged is pretty good. But what's amazing about it is it's not a fake version of the show. Like Dragon Ball Z specifically. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is not a fake version of the show. It's just actually Dragon Ball Z condensed down. And I know you're going to think that's not true. It's obviously an exaggeration. Go watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Then go watch Dragon Ball Z. And you will find out that it is the same show. All the things that they reference actually happen. It's true. It's actually true, and it's quite incredible. So, if you're looking for some entertainment, that is a fun place to look at it. And I hope that with that, I'm going to close up the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, if you'd like to support the stream, donate 24/7 anytime you'd like at paypal.me/askawizard. And you can get your questions added to the tip jar. You can have any question you like, and I will write them down on a piece of paper here. We will do a magic trick with them, as you guys saw. We did a little Q&A here where I read them without opening them by holding them to my head. And we will answer your questions live. If you have a question for a wizard, if you want to just show your support, maybe you want to promote your business, whatever you want, write it down and I will put it on here. That being said, I reserve the right to refuse to do any question on here, just as a caveat, so that I don't get a bunch of people posting inappropriate, terrible things with a penny or dollar donation. So, that being said, I do reserve that right. Send them on over. We'll fill up the jar, and if we keep the jar full, then I get to keep eating and I keep doing these shows for you guys, and I love it. And I'll keep doing these shows no matter what, though. That's gonna always figure out a way, because I love the owls, and the owls will grow no matter what. But this helps me work more often on the show and less often on things that have nothing to do with the show. No problem at all. Nema, if you do not have money, do not feel obligated to do this at all. This is for people who would want to throw a tip in the tip jar. And if you do not have money, you can support me in so many different ways that are just as valuable. Liking this video and sharing it with your friends. The most valuable of all is telling a friend in real life and saying, dude, you got to check out this wizard show, get a reading, let's go and watch it together. That's the best way to help this thing grow. Because if you're already here, you're part of the Owls. And if you're part of the Owls, you're probably a good person. If you're a good person, you probably have good friends who are also good people. So, by proxy, by inviting your friends to come to the stream, we get more and more good people, and that's what helps this thing grow. And I want to reach 1,000 owls. That is my goal, so that we have the ultimate community on the internet. But if you do have some cash and you want to get your thing read online, I mean, $1 for putting this on here and putting your business up there, that's more for the entrepreneurs, the people who've got money. Or if you just want to send support and you got a good job, those work too. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we're going to close up the stream, and I will see you guys tomorrow, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Pacific Coast time. We'll be talking about practical tactics you can start applying to your day to break free of the system that we talked about today in a practical, actual way, rather than being a dummy who waves signs and says, I'm gonna break the system, like a silly little toddler that you are. All right, we're gonna close up the stream. Have a good evening. I'll talk to you all later. Peace. Good night, Super Owl.